Hello and welcome back to Translator's Troubles for students of Greek and Latin. I'm a bit sick and have been for a few days, but I did finally finish the text commentary for 1.49, and I wanted to do a quick video before moving on to a longer examination of the images of the lion and the hare throughout Book 1. So today we're going to look at Martial 1.7, one of those thinly coded epigrams that seems odd until all the pieces fall into place. The epigram also gives us some insight into the history of a common misunderstanding of Catullus. So let's dig in. Here's the text of the epigram. And it translates something like this. Let me say, though all Verona is listening, Maximus, that the pet dove of my friend Stella conquers the sparrow of Catullus. My friend Stella so surpasses Catullus as the dove surpasses the sparrow. A few housekeeping things. Stella is masculine and is a male poet friend of Martial's. Verona is relevant because it's the hometown of Catullus. On the face of things, this poem is about poetic virtue. Catullus probably used the word passer in his own work to refer to a collection of his poems, much like Martial uses the word libellus. Martial, undoubtedly aware of this connection, is saying, ostensibly, that his friend Stella has become a better poet than Catullus. This should, however, strike us as unusual, since history knows Catullus on his own merits, but we only know of Stella from Martial. Moreover, Martial was cognizant of Catullus's virtues, so much so that he lists him explicitly as a canonical influence in the prologue to his first book of epigrams. He wasn't confused about the relative goodness or badness of Stella's poetry. So why in the world would he heap this praise on Stella, when it is so obviously false? The poem also recalls Catullus 2 and 3, where Catullus used the word passer and delicium to describe his book in the lap or at the breast of his lover. Now, Catullus 2 and 3 are famous for being widely misinterpreted. Contemporary readers, often and probably mistakenly, understand passer to be a reference not to a collection of Catullus's poems, a small book or a scroll, but to his penis instead. If you don't believe me, just Google any translation of Catullus 2 and 3. Read them, understanding passer to mean collection of poems, and then read them again, understanding passer to mean cock. I promise you'll giggle and realize whether or not Catullus meant cock, he should have. It makes the poems so much better. Somewhat disappointingly though, at least one scholar, Mitchell Elvidge, argues quite persuasively that this understanding is wrong, or at the very least, implausible. But how old is this misunderstanding? If we look at Martial 11.6, we will see that Martial, addressing a slave boy that he has a sexual relationship with, definitely uses the word sparrow to mean cock, specifically with a reference to Catullus. Here's the text, and it translates to something like, "Now give me kisses, but Catullan ones. If there are so many, as he said, I will give you the sparrow of Catullus." Certainly, Martial does not mean here that he's going to give his sex slave a book of poems. Imagine telling a girl or boy to kiss you, and then whispering in her ear, "I'll give you a nice book of poems." It's kind of a mood killer, or at least unsexy. So whatever Catullus means, Martial does in fact mean penis. And here is our solution to the question of why Martial would give such apparently insincere praise to his friend Stella. Stella doesn't surpass Catullus as a poet, but rather as a lover. His cock is, in particular, bigger than that of his poetic superior. And the Romans, unlike the Greeks, did love a big cock. More than just mildly scandalous, this is interesting because it shows us how old the common misinterpretation of passer is. It's not that modern readers are bad at Catullus, or making the Romans too prurient. It's just that Catullus's poems are clearly better when passer means penis, and so they attracted such a misinterpretation as early as Martial's day. This has been Translator's Troubles for students of Greek and Latin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content. If you'd like to read 1.7 on your own, download the text commentary linked below, and visit my Patreon at patreon.com/Homeric Dialect. See you next time.